There is nothing a man who is married can tell me about relationships. As far as I'm concerned, he messed up at the altar, you know? And so for him to try and assert that he knows the ways of the world as it pertains to relationship, yet be in a union in which, unbeknownst to him, is bringing about his demise, is quite laughable. I find that quite funny. It's one thing to have gone through something and advise other people on the steps necessary, to avoid the same incidents, or surmount the incidents once presented with them. But it's another to be drowning in the waters of a situation, not recognizing just how deep your situation has gotten, yet still advise someone else on how to navigate those waters. And all the reasoning, all the rationing, all the antics can't sensibly justify a man being married. Unless he has like a Britney Spears or Kevin Federline, a Britney Spears situation. You know, he can't really justify it outside of that. Marriage is the equivalent of a freed slave offering ownership of themselves to a slave master. Just because that slave master over the years has become a friend. Like if you like him so much as a friend, just be his friend, not a slave. That slave can only lose freedom in offering up his freedom. Despite how beneficial their friendship may be, that slave can't rationalize offering ownership of himself to someone else if he truly enjoys his freedom. Just be his friend. Things get sour, you walk away. Be a slave and things get sour. Welcome to hell. Is that not the same thing that happens in relationships and marriage? A guy's just hitting it. She gets crazy, she gets demanding, her true colors start showing, and he walks away, right? Scot-free, no strings attached. Deputy, it wasn't me. But he marries her. Then when things go south, as they always do, when the cheese grater breaks, when the Nutella jar drops and cracks, when the handle on the dishwasher falls off, and she just so happened to wake up on the wrong side of the bed that morning, She just didn't feel like going to work. A telemarketer called you at 8 a.m. And she thinks it's Big Titty Lizzie from the local pub, who she accuses you of having an affair with, just because she's jealous. She's got like, 34 triple D's while she's rocking trainers still, And the sun, the moon, and the stars just so happen to all align right when she starts her menstrual cycle. And you accidentally bump her in the kitchen, while she's eating her daily no gluten breakfast parfait. And the floodgates just commence to opening. And you're just hanging on for dear life, hauling ass, trying to steer the boat back to safety, as she just pounds you with wave after wave after wave of all the things you did wrong, from 1920, I don't know, to 2000 and forever. Like she's just been holding it in, waiting to release it like a fart or something, One of those farts where you went ham on A Fioris the night before. And now you're getting a divorce. Seeing some overpaid female therapist who just tells you everything's your fault, that maybe if you didn't watch TV with your hand on your dick, that wouldn't be a problem. She's like Dr. Melfi from The Sopranos, Who played her, by the way? I forgot. She was a fox way back then. God, the legs on that woman. I think it was Angie Harmon. No. Was it Angie? No. Gillian Anderson. No. But she was a brunette, though. She was a brunette. Dude, who was it? Lorraine Bracco. That's it, Lorraine Bracco. She played in Goodfellas, you know? That's it. That's her, yeah, Lorraine Bracco. Lorraine Bracco. Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, sure enough it is, you know? You're not my gynecologist. I don't gotta be a gynecologist to tell which way the wind blows. That show was good, man. That show was good stuff. That show was good stuff. It was great. It was great. You know, everyone likes good stuff, you know? That show was good stuff. You know, the late great James Gandolfini. Man, it was just good stuff. You know, rest in peace though. He died. I believe he died of a heart attack or something like that. I think it was. He died overseas too. But anyway, where was I? Where was I? Yeah, I mean, just don't be a sucker, you know? Suckers get married. You know, Mark Cuban said, the dude off of Shark Tank, he said, what did he say? He said, always look for the sucker in the room, right? If you can't find him, there's a good chance it's you. And that's true. If you're not winning in marriage, you're losing. And marriage is made for the man to lose. It's made for you to lose. You know, that BS 50-50, 100-100, you know, that cliche is complete and utter bull. Will somebody please tell me this? What does a woman's 100 even look like? Like, honestly, what is she giving that you aren't giving as well? I mean, sex? Like she's just banging you, you're not banging her. Like there's no reciprocity there. Kids, like they're not her kids too. You start the whole process of conception anyway. Like I never understood that. Like they consider like women to be the bearers of life. And to a sense they are, but they don't start it. Like it takes like you can only bear what a man produces. And a man produces that child. Like I wouldn't say produces, but he fertilizes the seed. You don't get a harvest if the seed isn't germinated. You know? But do women even cook anymore though? Like moving on. Do women even cook anymore? Like forget the fact that they offer men tangibly nothing, but do women even cook anymore? Isn't it an insult to ask a woman to cook nowadays? Like, don't I get arrested if I ask for a ham sandwich? You know, light mayo? Isn't that like capital murder nowadays? Booked for life. You know, next thing you know, I come out twiddling my thumbs on Steve Wilkos show. Like I beat toddlers for fun. I didn't do it, I swear. Only cowards do stuff like that. No, but seriously. Like what woman cooks? Better yet, cooks good. Like what woman can truly do a number on a stove? I'm talking put it down. You'll be hard pressed to find a woman that can season food. And I'm not talking about just like, you know, salt and pepper and everything. I'm talking slow cook, marinade, basting. What's that other thing? Brining. Foreign spices. You know? It's like that's the bar now. Like what happened to finding a woman that was a good, traditional, hearty, sophisticated woman like our moms? You know, the ones pre-1970. Now it's just like, you know, can she microwave a hot dog? Okay, good. Men keep having to give more and more as the years go by, and women give less and less. Like, I'm not risking my life and limb for Oscar Mayer. And I know there's going to be some smart aleck chick in the comments, you know, who says I'm just, you know, a mama's boy. No, it's not that at all. It's just you're mad that you actually have to be a half decent woman to a man, you know, who grew up with a solid mother figure. You know, and that women who somewhat deserve a man's resources set the bar too high for you to reach. Maybe you can learn something from those women. You know, sugar tits, Maybe you should stop looking for your degree to bring you a man. Don't get me wrong, do whatever you want to do. Under the US Constitution, you have the inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, okay? But if you want a gentleman, if you want traditional men, don't you think you should be a traditional woman? Where have all the good men gone? Where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? What would happen? Tell me this. What would happen if a man made, a version of that song? I mean, look at how many views this song has on YouTube. I know it's old and everything, but just check out how many views that song has on YouTube. Do it like right now. It's like the woman's anthem. Then look at, then look at how many views Oklahoma Girl by Steel Panther has. Point proven. It's just men have become so whipped that they haven't been calling bull when they see it. Now women are put on a pedestal, at the top of the socioeconomic hierarchy, just because they have a pussy. They look down at us, they see shit, and we look up at them, we see assholes. Like even with celebrities, it's the same way, You know what I believe it is though? Cornball men somehow think that marrying a woman in some way claims her sexuality. I say cornball men because, men who have an abundance of sex don't worry about sex with one woman. You think Leo DiCaprio is in a rush to get married? Why do you think these celebrity men have, what is labeled by society as problems committing to women? It's because, they're not trying to claim a bowl of rice like some prisoner in an El Salvadorian prison who just doesn't know when his next meal is going to be or who's going to take it. But what if I told you that bowl of rice was laced with arsenic? It's poison. You wouldn't want it, would you? So that tells me that somewhere along the line, men started believing that bowl of rice, which is the woman, isn't poisonous. As a matter of fact, men started believing that bowl of rice is prime rib. They believe it has nutritional value. They believe it can nourish. But I'm baffled as to how they can see things this way when 2 out of 3 marriages fail. Bill Burr, right? He's a comedian. I love the guy. Him and what's his name, Louis C.K. They really they have like the MGTOW vibes. But now like Bill Burr he's married to some I don't know, her name's like Tasha or something like that. Tisha. No, it's not. What does it matter? But he's married to some chick, right? And you can see him slowly starting to turn. But like when he was younger, you hear the MGTOW vibes in him, right? He was just that guy. And it's questionable as to why he was that guy, but I won't get into that. But my point is like Bill Burr said, at what point do you realize? He was like, at what point do you realize, when skydiving, that when 2 out of 3 parachutes fail, it's not the best idea to go parachuting. That was a real bad, it came out really bad, but that was in essence what he said, right? At what point do you realize it's not the best idea to go skydiving when 2 out of 3 parachutes fail? Are we that idiotic or that oblivious to the current reality of things? We still keep chasing women. We still keep chasing them and putting them on pedestals. Like I honestly struggle to understand why. If you're a man in a relationship right now, or in a marriage, and just a marriage or a relationship in particular, I said that backwards. A relationship or a marriage in particular, right? If you're, especially married men, please comment. I beg you, please comment why. Why meaning, why are you in the relationship? Why are you in that marriage? I honestly want to know, because I feel like if somebody forced you to think about it, you just realize how much of a dumbass decision it was. And I'm not trying to change your life or anything like that. It's just like, if you make people explain their rationale, explain their logic, as I discussed in the last video behind things, they tend to come to the conclusion, if it was truly an illogical, if it was a truly an illogical conclusion, or an illogical course of action, they tend to come to that conclusion by themselves. They tend to come to the conclusion that it was a dumb idea, you know? So comment why you got married. Comment why you're in a relationship. And I'll get to it too. I'm going to eat you up, by the way. So come strong, okay? No homo. I just had to put that in there. I don't like the guys who say no homo, but you know, that was some. I'm doing MGTOW here, so there's always some, straight guy. Not that I'm gay or anything, but there's always some. It's sounding really bad. I'm trying to like dig myself out of a hole, but there's always some like, this straight, false bravado straight guy that's always want to try to paint it like I'm gay just because the whole MGTOW movement. You get what I'm saying? But I honestly feel like if somebody, forced you married men to explain why you're married, you'd realize just how much of a bad decision it was. You know? Oh, I like her. She's hot. She's got titties. But think about it. Think about it. If a man will go as far as to marry a woman, right? Thinking that it locks that soul woman down, he must not be getting many women at all. Like, what millionaire is like, I want that dollar and that dollar only for the rest of my life? When he gets thousands of dollars a day. Like, you're giving up having an abundance, because an abundance, you can't even fathom an abundance because you can't even get one. So as far as you're concerned, like, if you had to, commit all of your loyalty to that one, it's better than zero. You're not even thinking like, you get so little, you're not even thinking thousands or millions or hundreds, hundreds of millions. You're just thinking one. And there will be that, that little prinkly dick, in denial, who says it's because, he just wanted to settle down. But you know what? That's false. And you know how that's false? Because when you marry a woman, your attraction to other women doesn't just disappear. You still have the innate desire to be sexually involved with other women. Whether you act on it is on you, but it's still there. And if you think it's because, you grew up, or rather you matured, as people say, that's false too, because you can't selectively mature out of your biological construct. You can hold those urges back, as I've stated before, but you still have the desire to do them. So men just allow themselves to get played like a fiddle. And then the thing about it is, a man who opens his wallet is to a woman what a woman who opens her legs is to a man. But notice, it's an insult to ask, that she put out on the first date. But isn't an insult to ask that you pay up on the first date? Hell no. It's expected, not only by her, but by society and even other men. Like, imagine a world where women were criticized by society, men, and their friends for not putting out on the first date. Imagine that. Better yet, no. Imagine if they were criticized by their own parents for not putting out on the first date. Because don't you know, mom and dad they'll call you cheap if you don't, crack the wallet on the first date, and crack it wide at that, you know? And we just take it. We take every bit of it. Relationships are basically a man's duty to enhance the quality of a woman's life at every conceivable point imaginable, at the expense of his own quality of life. And the worst part is he has to be proud of it. He has to pride himself in it. So where have all the good men gone? I'm asking the same question. Where are all the bearded guys, who wore argyles, and slightly too big dress slacks, and would absolutely flip shit if a woman even so much as forgot to wash a sock when she did the laundry? The guys who demanded she be waiting by the door to kiss him when he got home, just so he could stiff arm her face and go run his finger along the entire house looking for dust. Where are those men? Who knew they were doing the woman a massive favor by being with them, and therefore made them earn every second of it. Forget Rosie the Riveter. She worked like Rosie the Robot Maid off the Jetsons. Remember her? The little robot maid? Dude, if she'd be like the perfect package. If scientists just created like, the I don't know, what's that skin that's on dildos? Not that any of you would know, but if you happen to know, comment that. But if you just happen to put that like real skin and made it like attractive and just wrapped her in it, she'd be like the perfect wife. That's weird. I should move on. But so what if women got tits? There's 3.5 billion women. So there's 7 billion tits. There's more tits than there are women. Which means her tits means nothing. What does mean something? What means something to me? Clean floors. So she can develop a relationship with Murphy's oil soap. That'll behoove me. Like, the thing is, and I don't want to sound too harsh, but I'm just being realistic. I'm sort of being comical and satirical in this video. But there's a lot of truth behind it, The thing is, women are anchors on men. Anchors that don't even hold men in place. Like, if you're going to be an anchor, at least hold me down. Keep me stable. Keep me steadfast. Women nowadays they're anchors that don't even touch the bottom. They're just there for the free ride. Just more weight. More weight that the man has to move. And the whole supportive role, that BS, it's hilarious. Like, why do women have to engage in everything that means nothing, or could easily be done away with? Liberal arts, psychology, emotional support, women's studies, writing. Don't laugh though, because men do it too. Just not as much. Like, nowadays more than ever though. Like, if I had a penny, just a penny for every man with a liberal arts degree, I'd have enough money to steal Giselle from Brady. It's because men are gone. They've left the room. And I'm not one of those guys who thinks if you don't redundantly lift weights, and call yourself an alpha and wear tight wife beaters with, those snapbacks like Rich Piana. I'm not one of those guys that, that thinks you're not a real man if you don't do that stuff. I'm not of the school of thought that you have to work in trades to be a real man either, you know. But you do have to know who you are. You do have to be unmovable, be confident, you know, but not arrogant and stubborn. You have to take full responsibility and accountability, you know, for your actions and their consequences, be they good or bad. You know, and married men, in my humble opinion, aren't that at all. They're the antithesis of that. You know, considering they complain about the struggles of marriage, yet get married. Does that sound like being unmovable and confident? That sounds like kowtowing to a system. Kowtowing to a system and complaining, you know, about your poor decisions rather than owning up and doing everything within reason to fix your situation. You know? And then further ensuring that you don't make the same decisions again. You know, so when I hear women say, "Where have all the good men gone?" When I hear them say that, I replied with, you know, they're married. All the good men are married. Because if you haven't picked up what I've been putting down, a man that a woman calls a good man is really just a man she can manipulate and use.